Well, I might as well introduce myself. I'm Bruce Schwab. I'm a longtime sailor, certified boat bum, sailing nut. Been around the world a couple times, which sounds weird to say, but it's true. The project I'm working on now is I've gone back in time in a way to the boat that my dad bought when I was 16 years old, a boat called the Improbable. It was built in 1970. My dad bought it in 76, and he kept it all the way until he passed away, and he was in his 80s. And I was always crazy about the boat, and so now it passed on to me, and I'm doing all the things I dreamed of doing to it ever since I was 16, 18 years old. Yeah, the history of the boat's really interesting because it was actually thought of by some very legendary San Francisco Bay Area sailors, Commodore Tompkins, Dave Wally, Skip Allen. And one of them, Commodore Tompkins, when they were sailing for a client's boat, they spent much of their time talking about the boat that they would build themselves for ocean racing, which wasn't what the guy had. And they were even sketching on the side of the cockpit in pencil a vision of what they would want to have, which would be narrow and light and high performance and less interior amenities. They christened the boat before it was ever built as the Improbable because they figured it'd be highly improbable that it would ever come to exist. But eventually it did. It was pretty special for me living on Improbable and sailing on Improbable during my high school days. We knew it was a high performance boat and we wanted to do some racing and be successful at it. I think with our handicap and the fact that we were kids sailing with my dad, we weren't professional crew, we were still learning. We didn't win a lot, but we had some fun and we had some great experiences racing together as a family. So after my dad passed away and I wound up with the boat, it needed some work. His health was failing and he had a lot of his stuff on the boat and he didn't really want to deal with it for a while, so he just left it to me to deal with it all. So I wanted to do a haul out to do some maintenance work and probably sell it because I have been involved with boats so much in my life. I completely rebuilt a 30 square meter over 13 years. I created the Ocean Planet, raced twice around the world on that. I had like 6 races to Hawaii, 4 transatlantics. So I really, I've done enough sailing, really. So I thought I was just over it. But when we sailed it from Birch Bay, where my dad had it berthed, to Anacortes, even though it was loaded down and the sails were old, it all flashed back about how much I liked the boat. And I wanted to know how that boat would feel if it was as light as it was supposed to be and modernized like I had done with Rumbleseat. And I have a vision for what it should be, and I just can't rest until I achieve it somehow. So what I'm trying to do to the boat, in my mind, is philosophically in line with what the original dreamers of the boat envisioned. Light and simple and fast, without clogging the boat up with amenities. And I can see it in my mind. There are some naysayers to how far I'm taking it, but I find it reassuring that one of the original crew members on Improbable from the very beginning, Skip Allen, who's a legendary California big boat sailor, he's given me his full approval for the philosophy of the approach I'm taking to it. If Skip says it's okay, I'm good to go. So my dreams with Improbable is to make it as fast as I think it can be, which is fast enough to where it will really surprise some people who don't expect a boat that age to perform like I think it can. Its design is still valid, its hull shape is still valid, but the changes I'm making to it, it'll perform much better than people expect. So I want to blow some minds with that, and I'd like to do what the boat was meant to do from the beginning, some downwind races. I've raced in Hawaii a number of times, but I'd like to do another Transpac, maybe a Pac Cup. It just depends on who's interested and who I can talk into being involved in the project, because it's going to take some money and sales. We'll get some people involved and see. I think collectively there's a lot of sailors out there who would like to do the same stuff on Improbable that I would like to do. Now, some people ask why I'm doing this to Improbable when I could go sail on a high-performance modern catamaran or some bigger ultralight sleds. Improbable was the boat that got me going. And there's a vision that I have of bringing back to Improbable all the stuff I've learned on the bigger, faster, fancier boats and making just a really fun little toy. There's a great picture of me doing the first rudder modification. My dad let me cut part of the rudder apart. But I didn't get to take it all the way, and I've learned a lot since. So I'm finishing the job that I started 40 years ago.